How is everybody doing today? And in this video, we are going to be talking about Aventurine, and specifically with Acheron coming as well. He hasn't got as much spotlight when it comes to people talking about him. So today we are going to be going ahead and talking about all that he does, how he's going to impact the meta, how insane he is for the sustained meta at the current moment, and there's all the stuff including in what you need to talk about him. But before we get into all that, make sure to leave us a like and a sub on the video, and I will also leave a comment in the comments down below where you'll be able to see a link for my Twitch link so that you can see that we're going to be live streaming right after this video is posted. So make sure to stay tuned for that and come on by and leave a follow if you'd like to do so. But let's go ahead and start talking about Aventurine, and specifically how insane he actually is about to be. And Aventurine, when it comes to the sustainment at the current moment, you kind of have two different types of, I guess you say, thresholds of power when it comes to which characters can sustain and which can't. You either have more resources than just keeping you alive, and then you have keeping you alive. And Aventurine for sure is going to be a keep you alive with more resources. So this is going to be very cool to have specifically for him, because now he's going to be somewhere in the realm of where Huo Huo and Xuan are. As we may know, Xuan is able to give CC prevention, damage reduction, damage redistribution, more crit rate, and then Huo Huo gives attack and also energy, which is a very big thing. And then lastly, also allows you to get auto cleanse on your turn and also have the off-field healing as well when you end up having her stacks up. They're both skill point positive, so absolutely amazing. And I think Aventurine is about to be the exact same with all that's in his kit. As we may know, his skill is actually a full team shield that looks like it's a pretty hefty amount, so that's a really good thing to have, that he has it on auto quick, or you can put it on really quickly with him not needing to use his ultimate, which is a very cool thing. And not only is he a sustain that keeps you alive, which we already know from his skill giving you a full team shield, we also know that when you get hit enough times with your shield, for any character that gets hit, you do get a follow-up attack that reapplies a shield or a portion of it, for what we know. And this also does damage to the enemies on the field. And not only that, he also has an ultimate that allows him to inflict the debuff and also deal damage to the enemies. So yes, this character right now, he is quite literally a sustain, a harmony unit, a nihility unit, and also a DPS. And to see that he's doing all of this in one go, he is by far going to be one of the better sustains for sure in the game. And let's go ahead and read some of the combat roles that we get in the additional tips, I guess you could say, because this does cover a couple of things that aren't in the stream, which is a really cool thing to nitpick, that they drop stuff around that kind of builds up to the full kit. So now we have the website right here, which is Aventurine. It's a defensive character who can provide a stackable shield effect called Fortified Wager for all allies and increase the effect res of allies. Now that's a big run right there. If you're able to increase the effect res of allies, this is almost a better CC prevention, because the higher your effect res is, you're not going to get basically hit with any of the CCs that you would have gotten hit, especially if you stack that with whatever your currently existing effect res is. That's going to be really good for a bunch of characters, and this might even prove stronger than Xuan's one-time CC prevention when you have her skill up, which is only once. So that's actually going to be a really good thing. Once we know exactly how much effect res this is going to be, will 100% put us in a fight, or not a fight, but a debate into where Aventurine is placed at the current moment. I do think, from what we know so far, he is definitely an S+ with Huo Huo and Xuan. But if his effect res is high enough, he might even eclipse over Xuan, which we do have to notice is that they don't mention it here, but it was in the stream. He does give extra crit damage dealt, or something like that, when it comes to his buff that he is able to give. So that's actually really cool. And Aventurine can accumulate charges through various means and trigger follow-up attacks, and that shows his DPS nature. So there's a lot of really cool stuff that Aventurine is able to do. But now let's go ahead and talk about the elephant in the room. And the elephant in the room is 100% the character that is going to be rerun alongside Aventurine, and that's going to be Luocha. Luocha is a long time sustainer, being one of our first 5-star sustainers in the game for sure, being a really good one, a really nice brick wall, as I like to say, for all the sustainers that don't really have anything else but just keeping you alive. They're the brick wall, they do their job, that's all they're supposed to do. While a lot of these other newer sustains, of course, as the game gets older, we're going to get stronger and stronger units, and that's just how it's going to be. And after Luocha, we ended up getting characters with more utility. One with like Lynx, where she's able to give more taunt. One with Xuan, you got CC prevention. You have damage redirection, damage mitigation with also crit rate increase. You have someone like Huo Huo with an attack boost, with that energy boost. And then you also have someone like Aventurine, who we have at the current moment, doing every single role in the game with DPS, debuffing, buffing, and also keeping you alive very easily. Yeah, there's just a lot of stuff going for Aventurine at the current moment that kind of puts Luocha in a really bad spot. And I just want to say at the current moment, when you're looking at a lot of the sustains in the game at the moment, Luocha just doesn't have as much value as he did before. And I do want to clarify something very quickly. Yes, Luocha is technically still a good sustain. Yes, that is very true. If you already have Luocha, which I do, I have his S1 and everything. I've invested heavily into him, all that type of stuff. He's still an amazing sustain for the people that have him already. So if you have Luocha, you still have a sustain that you can say is going to permanently be in one of your comps no matter what. Because yes, he does have really good healing capabilities with his auto skill, with this cleanse that comes from his auto skill, which does have a cooldown, but he also has the field as well and buff strip and all that type of stuff. Really good stuff from Luocha. But when it comes to a new player, when it comes to a PlayStation player, when it comes to anybody starting after Luocha's banner, because this will be his first rerun, there's kind of no reason to grab him at the current moment, because we do have so many other substitutions and so many other newer characters that are just gonna help you stomp through the game and give you way more resources than Luocha is able to give. Luocha is really good in keeping you alive, and Luocha is really great with SP positive nature, but SP positive nature isn't important anymore in this game. Because the reason I say this, and not because, oh, you want SP negative characters on your team. No, the only reason I say this is because almost every support and almost every single sustain can be SP positive. Huo Huo only needs 1 skill point and she gets 2 turns, leaving her with being able to be 1+ skill point when it comes to Huo Huo getting her skills in order so that you're able to cleanse. And you don't always have to have her stacks up either, so you could get even more skill points from Huo Huo. Same thing from other characters like Ruan Mei. She has her buff up for 3 turns. Same thing for characters like who is it? Fu Xuan. She has her field up for a certain amount of turns. There's so many different sustains now at the current game, and same thing with Lynx as well, which I want to bring up is a free-to-play sustain who has additional utility of being able to give aggro to preservation and destruction. Someone like Clara and someone like Blade, who Luocha loves to be with, Lynx kind of does his job a little bit better, having that added utility to her kit, and also allowing that she has cleanse no matter what on her ultimate that you're not going to be using as frequently. Whenever you need that cleanse, you pop her ultimate and boom, you're good. She has healing over time with her skill, all that type of stuff. Lynx is an absolutely amazing character. But with Luocha only giving healing, with Luocha having a cooldown on his cleanse, he doesn't have as much value as a lot of these brand new sustains and these brand new characters that just provide more than just keeping you alive. That's the only problem that Luocha has at the current moment, and the reason why Aventurine really is pushing Luocha out of the reason to ever be summoned on. His imaginary, he also has better utility in regards to having, what's it called, he's better utility than having Luocha on the team because he's able to do damage, he's able to do debuffs, inflict buffs, all that type of stuff, and even has the potential to get us to a certain point where we might even be able to count it as a CC prevention if he's giving us a fat ton of effect res through the shield, which is a very big deal. So there's just so many things going for Aventurine that Luocha just doesn't have place anymore to be summoned on by anyone who doesn't already have Luocha. As I said, if you have Luocha already, you're good. You have a sustain that will forever be on the team because he does his job and he does it super well. But all the sustains right now, all the supports right now, when there comes to how modern they are and how they're getting pushed into us, a lot of them are already SP positive by nature and isn't really something that Luocha is unique by anymore. At the beginning of the game, he was broken for how SP positive he was, but now every character has this type of capability. Specifically, if you slap on some speed boots and also a 2-piece messenger, you'll be 100% fine. And now that we have characters that give way more value than what they're supposed to be doing, which is keeping you alive, like Huo Huo, like Fu Xuan, like Aventurine, and Lynx as well, there's 4 to 3 characters that you're just gonna have that have inherently more value than Luocha. So why not just wait for those characters? Specifically Aventurine coming out, if you're looking for a sustain, grab Aventurine. He's gonna be the better sustain for sure when it comes to having a character that's gonna keep you alive and be very future proof. Because as time goes on, I think sustains are right now the most susceptible to power creep, only because with every new healer that comes out, they have to do something unique and they have to do something different. For the DPS wise, you can slap on Don Hung's kit for an ice unit and they'll be fine to be summoned on, because that's just how it is. Same thing with the supports. You're able to mix and match these buffs that you can give, like how Sparkle and Bronya are, and specifically Ruan Mei, she might have someone like Robin who might be, you know, side by side with her. But for sustains, the more you add value to your sustain, which like we have Xuan and Huo Huo giving their own respective buffs, same thing with Aventurine being his own respective buffs, Luocha just doesn't compare to these brand new characters. So right now, Aventurine is for sure changing up the way people are going to be subbing on characters. And if you like Luocha, if you just really like his design, you really want to get him, you still think that you should get him besides Aventurine, my opinion is that Aventurine is stronger, but don't worry, I love Luocha a crap ton, specifically because of Honkai Impact and all that type of stuff, and the voice actor, all of it. Perfect character, love it. But Aventurine does hold a lot more value, specifically with all that he gives in regards to being a multitude of different teams' favorite best in slot, maybe possibly the follow-up attack team, with Dr. Ratio, with him being able to provide debuffs, with almost any team, with him having effect res on allies and a full team shield, except for someone like Blade. That's like the only character who wouldn't want Aventurine, but besides that, everyone can technically use him. Will there be teams that might not want him as much? Maybe someone like the Dot team who doesn't use crit, that should be fine. But other than that, every other team wants him. So other than that, that's probably going to be it for this video. I do think, for my honest opinion, that Aventurine is going to be super strong, and specific to all the teams that he's going to be on. And sadly enough, it just looks like Luocha's due date just came a little too early and he came a little too late for a rerun, because if he would have came before Huo Huo, Luocha would have been one of the craziest banners people would have summoned on for sure. But as we may know, we are done with Luocha, we're done with Jingliu. That means we have characters like Huo Huo, like Fu Xuan, like Topaz coming up very soon for probably 2.2. And I know that's going to be a bit to worry about, or a long time to worry about. But if you have Aventurine, you should have links that should abide you well until your next 5-star sustainer. And other than that, that's going to be it. So let me know what you think in the comments below, whether you are going to be going for Aventurine or acheron, or even let me know if you're still going to be pulling for Luocha no matter what, which if you are, that's pretty cool in my honest opinion that you don't care. Other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. See y'all in the next one, and peace.